Today in this sports report, football, Kairat Almaty defeats their opponents for the second time in a row. Mixed martial arts, a Kazakhstani shock, Jeff Monson. The Paralympics, the Kazakhstani team is back from Sochi. Figure skating, challenges to overcome. In the second tour of a football championship, Kairat Almaty lost to Jitsu with a minimal score. The match was initially planned to be held in Taldyqurghan, but due to the poor conditions of the pitch, it was moved to Almaty. The nominal host team was Omari Tetradze's team. One player in the Kairat team, Jambul Kiev, was missing because he had been stopped from playing for an indefinite term due to his injuries. The first threatening moment was from Mamadou Cissé, a Gambian forward. He shot the ball from outside the penalty area, but the goalkeeper Vladimir Plotnikov caught it. Mamadou repeated his maneuver, but that didn't help mislead the goalkeeper. The nominal guests were very confident during the first half, taking the lead and preventing from the opponents approaching their goal area. Baujan Islam Khan tried to outmaneuver Plotnikov, but the goalkeeper was alert and managed to turn the attack to a corner shot. Kairat failed to defend their half zone at the first attempt from Jitsu. The Taldyqurghan trio acted more swiftly than the 5 defenders from Kairat. Nothing could stop Jitsu's productive attacks, with the exception of Sergei Shaf's defending once. The result was 1-0 in favor of Jitsu. Vladimir Weiss's team tried to make it a draw, and they had a chance which they failed to use when Cissé passed the ball to Yedigarian, who shot it to the opponent's frames with the ball hitting the net from the outside. It was Mamadou who made the score draw before the players went to the dressing room for a break. But when clashed with Plotnikov, the latter managed to take advantage. The futile attempts were made by Kairat's Slovenian legionnaire Miloš Lachny, but the goalkeeper prevented any dangerous shots.
Я доволен результатом, доволен самоотдачей с характером, который сегодня провели.
I'm satisfied with the result. Our players did their best and justified their expectations. We did our homework well, came to play well prepared. Kairat is a strong opponent. Probably their defeat at the start had a negative impact on this match. Today in the pitch, our guys proved to be a good team. We won thanks to that. We used all the chances during the match, strengthening the defense, which we succeeded.
Использовали свой момент, но и старались строго сыграть в обороне, что у нас получилось.
During the second half, Kairat was less active, but kept creating threatening moments. Jitsu carried out counterattacks using few players and concentrating on defeating their net area. Gurman had a chance to score a goal, but he was blocked by a defender. Despite that, the Kairat players were lively, especially on the right side of the pitch. Kislitsin, Yedigarian, and Islam Khan were often in the opponent's penalty zone with a minimal effect. Time flew quickly for the Kairat footballers, and for their opponents it seemed never-ending. The likelihood of the second defeat in a row at a home stadium was more and more evident. The Jitsu captain could have scored another goal, but the ball went to Loria. The game ended up with Islam Khan's attempt to shoot the ball into Kairat's frames, but the result 1-0 in favor of Omari Tetradze's team. Today, more than 400 million people in different countries do various martial arts, regardless of a religion, race, and social status. Many countries have their own traditional martial arts that are treated as cultural heritage. The current martial arts international tournament, called Diamond Fight Friendship, has recently been held in Almaty in cooperation with the Buvaisar Saitiev's Foundation, the Federation of Jiu-Jitsu, and the World MMA Federation, and the Kazakhstani Federation of Jiu-Jitsu and other mixed martial arts. The 3-times champion Buvaisar Saitiev attended the event in person.
На наш турнир, который проходит в Красноярске, В этом году у нас было 80 представителей из Казахстана. Мы проводим...
Our tournament in Krasnoyarsk has received 80 Kazakhstani participants. It's a tournament for juniors. We'll have 4 to 6 teams from Kazakhstan. We have been holding this tournament for 10 years. We always keep in touch with this country. I consider Kazakhstan my second home country.
Тесное общение. Вот. Поэтому Казахстан — это тоже моя родина, я считаю.
The main fight of the night was the fight with an American fighter, an MMA star, Jeff Monson, called Snowman, and a Kazakhstani fighter, Shakhmaral Jitpisov. Jeff had told us about the purpose of his visit and didn't seem to be worrying about the results of the fight.
It's about the journeys I've seen in my life, about Kazakhstan being there and Russia, and from the beginning of me fighting and a lot of the people that I've met, and about politics and interesting about people. It's about people and places I've been and how we all have similarities.
Having arrived a few days before the fight, Monson had enough time to talk to the press and representatives of local fighting clubs. He told us about his plans for the future.
My future plan is I want to, like right now, the benefit of being a fighter is I get to visit many places like Kazakhstan, and I get to meet a lot of people. So I plan on opening some gyms, and I want to travel. I want to meet people. I want to do seminars. I want to get involved in politics. I want to try to make a change.
That night, there are 13 fights and 3 MMA nominations in Thai boxing and K1. The fight that started the event was the one between a Kazakhstani fighter, Rawan Dosbayev, and a Thai martial artist, Konkenlek Sitpolek. The host of the ring beat his experienced opponent, making a good start for the whole tournament. Daulet Oturbayev and Naim John Tukhoboyev, an Uzbek athlete, also proved good fighters. The Uzbek fighter started off confidently, but then was less alert, missing the opponent's strokes. He managed to survive to the end of the last round, being beaten. The coach told me to react with tough strokes and knock out the opponent, as his strength is in his legs. I'm equally good at both K1 and Thai boxing. The fastest fight was between Mahir Mamedov and Aijigit Lu Jumabek. The latter naively tried to impose the ground fight, but became a punching boy for his Kazakhstani opponent. Basically, I'm good at striking in a stand-up fight, but I win easier when I do submission grappling. My opponent decided to make it a ground fight, and it was convenient to use grappling. Earlier, another representative of the Alash Pride Club, Adil Boranbayev, beat Zuhur Nurmahadov hands down. Adil's fellow, Kilichbek Saranboyev, won in the match with Ikhtior Murtozayev with a series of strokes, making the opponent stop the fight ahead. I've been fighting for the Alash Pride for the 3rd time. I should have been fighting in Moscow in the Fight Nights tournament, but my opponent couldn't participate due to his injuries. That's why I'm here. Another brilliant fight proved Arman Ospanov a winner. This time Arman beat an American opponent, James Patrick Reese. Ospanov, whose specialty is knocking out strokes, was ready to beat the American in a stand-up fight, but James tried to get away, turning it into a ground fight. This didn't stop Arman from beating James on the ground, using his grappling techniques. This victory is for the Kazakhstani people. I've been preparing for this fight for 1 month in the US, and now I'm back to win. The main fight of the night turned out to become a great show where both martial artists did their best. Being good at the ground fighting, Monson was trying to attack his opponent's legs, whereas Jitpisov had good chances to win in a stand-up fight. 2 5-minute intervals didn't reveal the winner, so it was necessary to hold an extra round. The victory seemed to be up to the judge's decision, but 30 seconds before the end of the fight, Shak played 2 powerful strokes in the opponent's head, knocking him out. The spectators gave a mighty roar at their compatriots' win, and Monson had to be examined by his physicians. I've been preparing only for 1 month, but during the fight, he tried me with the ground fight because he put all his efforts in for that. It was a hard win, but I'm satisfied with the result. According to the organizers of the International Association Diamond Fight Friendship, the main goal of the tournament is to show that we are inheritors of the history of a great country. The tournament is meant to maintain friendships as well as to create excellent opportunities aimed at strengthening relationships between different countries. The Kazakhstani Paralympic team is back from Sochi. The team has won 5 licenses for the first time in Kazakhstan sport. 2 licenses were won in cross-country skiing and biathlon. The team performed plausibly. Our Paralympic athletes were on par with other strong athletes, and we achieved our main aim, to make a good start to the development of the winter sport Paralympic movement in Kazakhstan to prevent stagnation in this area of sport. We've brought the Olympic fire torch from Sochi for the Paralympic Committee so that they will hand it to the Summer Paralympians team when it's time. 5 athletes, Alexander Kalyadin, Janil Baltabieva, Yerlan Omarov, Elena Mazurenko, and Kairat Kanafin, competed with the best athletes in Paralympic sports over 10 days. Competition was tough with the Russian team who were dominating. Athletes from Germany, Canada, Ukraine, and many others sized from 1 to dozens of athletes. Everything was great in the games. The opening ceremony, the tracks were not too difficult, but the weather was not on our side. We had to put up with the fog, snow, rain, and warm temperatures. At the last day of the games, all the members of the International Paralympic Committee approached me and congratulated me with Kazakhstani team's successful performance. It's very important to receive feedback from other people, as we were at a disadvantage with 5 athletes competing in 2 disciplines, cross-country skiing and biathlon. The Sochi breakthrough in winter Paralympic sports, which was achieved by the National Paralympic Committee, should be set as a good example for republic federations and all the management in Kazakhstan sport. It is necessary to pay more attention to disabled sportspeople, support them and create favorable conditions for fulfilling their role in society and leading a normal life. It is necessary to approach this issue at many different levels in state structures. Paralympic sport is sport of considerable achievements, and we would like the regional sports authorities to support their Paralympic athletes adequately in all kinds of sports. We will soon start preparing for the Asian Paralympic Games, and I hope by October we will have built a substantial team for participating in 12 kinds of sport. Disabled sportspeople are already participating in curling competitions, and the next logical step is building a curling national team. The committee has long-term plans to hold other similar competitions in sledge hockey, which is the most spectacular discipline in the Winter Paralympics. Probably, we will have curling and sledge hockey disciplines. The Russians managed to build a silver medal winning sledge hockey team in just 4 years. It should be the domain of the National Paralympic Committee and our agency. We made a confident start with traditionally successful cross-country skiing. The Paralympics are over, but that means the start of a new Olympic cycle. The Paralympics Committee has a lot of work to do. One of the issues it needs to resolve is properly qualified coaches. We have never had good coaches, as we are at the starting point, so we need some expertise from our more experienced counterparts such as Russia, Belarus, and Ukraine. The development of Paralympic sport indicates public attention towards the need of disabled people. Overall, adequate attention and support means a responsible attitude towards the needs of people with impairments. And in our society, it needs to be changed. The Paralympic Committee alone won't make the difference. It's the whole country's job. Figure skating is one of the most beautiful and at the same time the most demanding and expensive kinds of sport, popular around the world. Gracious gliding, expressive figures, and breathtaking complicated jumps are mesmerizing for the spectators. How long should it take the figure skater to learn to perform all those elements and jumps we see effortlessly and elegantly? Figure skating became popular in Kazakhstan during the first years of the country's independence. Initially, it was based on the old, and in many respects, fundamental Soviet Union school. In the 90s, sovereign Kazakhstan's first figure skaters made a start participating mostly in home tournaments and championships. Then there were several years of stagnation when it seemed everyone forgot about figure skating. But today it is popular both with children and adults. Despite hardships and poor conditions for this winter sport, Kazakhstani figure skating continues developing. Just 10 years ago, the country was in the list of non-figure skating countries. Things are different now, thanks to Denis Ten's impressive achievements. Kazakhstan is recognized as a figure skating nation. I am pleased to tell you that our national team is increasing, despite the fact that we have so many problems. Figure skating has always been popular here, and now it's even more popular, thanks to Denis Ten and various TV shows. Denis Ten's skating show, which was organized after a great performance in the World Championship in Canada when he won a silver medal, became a feast for figure skating fans' eyes in Almaty and Astana. Since then, figure skating has become the center of attention, and young skaters got more access to skating rinks in all regions of the country. Our main team is based in Almaty. Most figure skating elite of the country are located in Almaty. We don't have skating rinks, both outdoor and indoor ones, and we keep asking the authorities for the appropriate amenities. Even the national team has to train on public skating rinks, and against all the odds, we show good results at international competitions. The performance would be even better if we had had our own facilities. Most of the national skating team is based in Almaty, and this is where we have the issue of availability of good, affordable, and accessible skating rinks. Young ice skaters following in Denis Ten's footprints still have to train on public skating rinks and shopping malls, where they have to leave the city and practice skating 20 kilometers away from town.
Если бы у нас были бы здесь условия, конечно бы сборная каталась. Никто не говорит там о 30.
If we had appropriate conditions, the team would practice. I'm not talking about 30 people skating on the rink at the same time, but if we had a rink for a few like Denis, Abzal, and Liz, who could come and train here, that would be good. What's more, amateur and beginning skaters would have a good example. They would be able to copy and move faster. It is necessary to maintain the development initiated by Denis Ten. Appropriate conditions and opportunities should be created for young beginning figure skaters. Ice skating should become affordable for the public. Then it may be possible to raise another young star in the Kazakhstani figure skating. That's why it's so important for the would-be champions to see how established skaters train. It can't be compared to watching it on TV. When you see sports people training, you subconsciously want to be on par with them. Apart from Denis Ten, Kazakhstan is presented on the international ice skating arena by such skaters as Abzal Rahimgaliev, Elizabeth Tursimbayeva, Aiza Mambekova, and duos Karina Uzorova, Ilyas Ali, and Darin Junusov, Ksenia Koropkova. These sports people are less known internationally, but are considered as promising figure skaters. We hope that pair skating will start developing. We would like to take part in the next Olympiad so that we're presented in a full range of the skating program. We cherish hope to win medals and take part in a team tournament. Proper conditions for training and local highly qualified specialists may guarantee success. Next time, when Kazakhstani figure skaters will be able to justify their worth medals, will be the World Winter Universiade in 2017, and hopefully then at the Olympics in Almaty.